Is Davao still a good place to invest in real estate? Or has the opportunity already passed? Because today, I want to show you something that most people are still overlooking. And the interesting part is, this might be where the next wave of growth in Davao is quietly happening. When people talk about successful real estate investments, they usually point to places like Bonifacio Global City. But if you study it closely, you'll notice something important. The real winners were not the ones who bought when everything was already built. The real winners were the ones who entered early. When it was still developing, when there were doubts, and when people were still asking, is this area really going to work? And that idea of entering early is exactly what brings us to what's happening now in Davao. Because this is why I want to talk about Davao Global Township. Davao Global Township is a master planned township development designed to become a future business and lifestyle hub in Davao City. And right inside this township is a residential development called the West Village. Now here's where it becomes more interesting. This is not just a standalone condo. It's positioned inside a larger ecosystem with commercial areas, open spaces, and even a future university nearby. Which leads us to one important idea. Demand here is not accidental. It's being planned and built over time. And this matters because in real estate, location is not just about what it is today. It's about what it is becoming. That's why project inside township tends to perform differently because everything around them grows together. So instead of just asking, is this a good condo? Maybe the better question to ask is, am I entering this location at the right time? And naturally, when you start asking questions, a few concerns come up. And one of the most common is, isn't it too expensive? That's a valid concern. But here's something to think about. Instead of just looking at the price, look at what you're actually getting. Because in real estate, price reflects location, positioning, and future value. In the case of the West Village, you're not just buying a unit. You're buying into a master planned township, the Davao Global Township, where developments are intentionally planned to grow together. You're also positioned near a future university, which naturally creates long-term demand over time. Another question people ask is Davao really ready for this kind of luxury condo? And that's a fair question too, because not every market can support premium developments. But here's what we're seeing. Davao continues to grow as a major city in Mindanao. There is increasing demand from professionals, business owners, and investors. And when you place a premium project inside a master plan township, you're not just relying on the city. You're helping create new center of activity. Then the next question becomes, what makes the West Village stand out? Because in a market where there are many condos, differentiation matters. And the West Village stands out because it's inside a township. It's near a future university. It's part of a long-term development vision. So it's not just about the building. It's part of something bigger. Of course, another important concern is the developer reliable? Because no matter how good the concept is, execution will always matter. The developer behind this is Cebulan Masters. And if you look at their track record in Visayas and Mindanao, they've consistently delivered projects and communities over the years. So for many investors, that track record gives a strong level of confidence. And finally, some buyers ask, how about earthquakes in Mindanao? And that's something you should always consider too. The reality is earthquakes can happen in different parts of the Philippines. But modern developments today are designed to follow structural and safety standards. So the better approach is not to ignore the risk, but to invest in developments that are built with those considerations in mind. Now, with all that in mind, here's something important that not everyone knows yet. New phases of the West Village, specifically towers 3, 4, and 5, are set to launch this June 2026. And typically, when new towers are launched, prices are adjusted, demand increases, and earlier phases become more valuable. So maybe the real question is not, is this too early? But rather, what happens if I wait until everything is already obvious? Because by then, you're no longer early, you're already catching up. So if you're curious about the remaining units in the West Village, send me a message and I'll walk you through whether this fits your goals as an investment or a future home.